A'ja Wilson is upset because Caitlin might have the chance to move to Europe. A'ja has already asked to be the top star at Nike, and now seeing how much Caitlin could earn overseas is creating some tension.
Nonsense about things that Caitlin was doing wrong when, in my personal opinion, she was doing nothing but going out there and playing great basketball every night and ignoring the hate that was coming to her from all sides, not only from...
If Caitlin moves abroad, she'll become the highest paid women's basketball player globally. A'ja isn't happy about this. She feels that, as the MVP, she deserves more recognition and the biggest opportunities. That's not happening.
Wilson, 28 years old, 1,000 points in the regular season. Why is that not the biggest story out at the moment? And why are we talking about Caitlin Clark?
Why exactly? Why when A'ja was releasing the shoe were we talking about Caitlin?
Caitlin has boosted sponsorships, increased her pay, and helped make the WNBA one of the most watched sports. Yet, some players in the league are still showing jealousy. This is why she might need to move on. Let's imagine a game without Caitlin Clark.
Commonplace where she'll go for 26 and 12. I mean, those are great numbers for any player, no matter how long you've been in the league. She's learned how to play the game, and she said, I had to learn how to play the WNBA.
A'ja believes she's the star, even though before Caitlin showed up, the WNBA had very few fans. Caitlin deserves to be the highest earning player. Hopefully, she moves abroad and shows players like A'ja Wilson what the league would be like without her.
Guys, take a look at the stands. All the seats, even the courtside seats, are empty.
The possibility of Caitlin Clark signing with a European basketball league has caused a stir in the WNBA. Europe has always been a top destination for talented athletes, offering strong competition, high-paying contracts, and global recognition. The financial rewards in Europe can be much higher than what the WNBA offers, giving Caitlin a chance to secure her future while still excelling in her sport.
Moved home games to bigger arenas when Indiana came to town to accommodate more fans. I'm not finished. Attendance for the entire league is up nearly 50% this year, and Indiana leads all teams with an average attendance of 17,035, up 319% from a year ago.
A'ja Wilson has been vocal about her frustration with Caitlin Clark's potential move to Europe, and at the core of her feelings is money. As a dominant figure in the WNBA for years, the idea that Caitlin could earn more abroad stings. For A'ja, it's not just about securing her finances. It's about the prestige that comes with being the highest paid player. Earning more often means being seen as more valuable, and this shift in pay threatens A'ja's position as one of the league's top players. In professional sports, salary is often linked to respect, and the highest earners are seen as the most important on and off the court. A'ja, who has worked hard to build her brand and establish herself in the WNBA, now faces the tough reality that Caitlin's rising star might outshine her own. For someone who has been the face of the league, this is a hard truth to accept.
Being one of the most loved teams in the WNBA to being riddled with so much drama this season. A'ja Wilson was under fire last week for the privileged comment that she made to Kelsey Plum.
But it's not just about the money. A'ja's reaction to Caitlin's potential European contract also comes from the fear of losing her place as the WNBA's leading figure. For years, she's been the top name in women's basketball, but Caitlin's rapid rise has changed that. The thought that Caitlin could not only out-earn her, but also take the spotlight overseas threatens A'ja's sense of security and her position as the league's face. Being the WNBA's top player is about more than just skill. It's about capturing the public's attention, driving viewership, and representing the league globally. A'ja has held this spot for a while, but Caitlin Clark's rise has ignited a fierce competition between the two stars.
With it, I thought she would be unanimous. I mean, it's not even close. Because I said the most important person in the league is Caitlin Clark and should be a top 5, if not, it should have been a top 3 MVP.
For A'ja, it's not just about being the best player. It's about staying relevant in a fast-changing environment where Caitlin's name is quickly becoming tied to the future of women's basketball. One of the key differences between A'ja Wilson and Caitlin Clark is how fans view them. Caitlin has built a strong, loyal following, with fans supporting her both on and off the court. Her social media game is strong, and her games draw impressive viewership numbers. This has created a clear divide between the two. Despite her years of success, A'ja hasn't been able to capture the same level of fan loyalty that Caitlin seems to attract effortlessly. Why is Caitlyn able to draw in so many fans so quickly, while Asia struggles to maintain the same level of admiration? Part of the answer is the excitement around new talent. Fans are naturally drawn to fresh faces, and Caitlyn's arrival in the WNBA has brought a new energy to the league. Fans see her as the sport's future, while Asia, even with her consistent dominance, is seen as part of the league's past.
You're supposed to be the MVP, and you only got one win out of that series. So I think, now I wonder if they had a 5-game series in the first round, there might be a possibility they may not win that series.
For Asia, the lack of fan recognition is frustrating. She's worked hard to build her legacy, yet she's finding herself overshadowed by someone who's just beginning to make her mark. It's not just about losing fans. It's about losing relevance in a league where fan loyalty can make or break a player's career. Asia's worry is that as Caitlyn's fan base grows, her own could shrink, putting her in a weaker position both in the league and in the public eye. Winning MVP should have cemented her place as the face of the WNBA, but instead, she's watching as Caitlyn takes over the spotlight. One of the puzzling aspects of Caitlyn Clark's rise is the league's apparent reluctance to fully embrace her, despite all she's done for the WNBA in terms of viewership and advocacy. Caitlyn has even faced resistance from within the league, which is surprising given that she's not only raised the profile of women's basketball, but also pushed for changes like charter jets for player travel. Why would the WNBA, an organization that should be celebrating its stars, treat Caitlyn this way? Part of the answer lies in the nature of change. Caitlyn represents a new generation of players who are challenging the status quo.
Bad, they got the #1 pick. You got to be bad to get the #1 pick. And she led them to their first 20-win season in almost a decade. She led them to the playoffs. I mean, the girl deserved the...
Caitlyn's outspokenness, rapid rise to fame, and willingness to push for better conditions have made her a controversial figure. Some see her as a threat to the established order, a player who is shaking up the league too quickly. But this resistance is also about power. Caitlyn's influence has grown to the point where she can make demands, and that kind of power can be uncomfortable for those who are used to controlling the narrative.
LeBron James had tennis shoes in his rookie year. He didn't have a fraction of the impact on the NBA that Caitlyn Clark has had on the W.
The league's reluctance to fully support Caitlyn reflects a larger tension between maintaining control and allowing players to have a voice. Caitlyn's impact on the WNBA goes far beyond her performances on the court. One of the most significant changes she's made is advocating for chartered jets, which has greatly improved travel conditions for players. Before Caitlyn's push, WNBA players often dealt with exhausting travel schedules that left them fatigued and unable to perform at their best. By pushing for chartered jets, Caitlyn created a more professional and comfortable environment, allowing players to focus on what they do best, playing basketball, but her contributions don't stop there. Caitlyn has been a strong advocate for better compensation and working conditions for WNBA players. Her willingness to speak out on these issues has made her a leader within the league, even though it has also made her a target for criticism. Despite facing resistance from some of her peers in the league, Caitlyn has continued to push for changes that benefit everyone. However, her efforts haven't been universally welcomed. Instead of being celebrated for her advocacy, Caitlyn has found herself at the center of controversy. Some players, like A'ja Wilson, see Caitlyn's push for change as a challenge to the way things have always been. This has caused a divide between those who support Caitlyn's vision for the future and those who are resistant to the changes she represents.
#1 in jersey sales, Angel Reese 2, Sabrina 3, Kate Martin 4. We talked about this earlier in the season. I feel sad that Kate Martin also hasn't gotten as much playing time the second half of the season. I feel like she deserves more, or maybe she deserves a different team. How crazy would that be if she went to Indiana?
One of the biggest concerns for the WNBA if Caitlyn Clark decides to move to Europe is the impact on viewership. Caitlyn has become one of the league's most popular players, with fans tuning in specifically to watch her play. Her exciting style of basketball and her ability to connect with fans personally have made her a major draw for the WNBA. Whenever Caitlyn takes the court, viewership numbers soar. But when she's not playing, the league sees a clear drop in ratings.